love those beats. Guys, welcome to Code Sagas intro to development, web development, coding, whatever term got you here. The whole point of this video is to help you get a taste of web development, to get a taste of what it's like to be a web developer, what coding is like, so that you can decide whether or not this is a path you actually want to pursue. There's lots of boot camps out there, lots of free code boot camps, lots of expensive ones, lots of cheap ones, and I just felt it was important to build this video to really get you to touch all the pieces quickly, because most boot camps take 2-3 weeks to move through HTML and CSS because they try to teach it all to you at once, and it's like a fire hose in your face, and it's too much. And honestly, in my boot camp, that's not how we approach it, because it's just too much and it's just wasted. If I turned a fire hose on in your face and asked you to drink all of the water, most of it's going to get wasted. You're not going to drink any of it. And that's what they do with this information. And I want to slow that down. So the point of this video series is to help you have a chance to soak some of it in, get an idea of whether or not you like this, and hopefully help you save some money if it's not right for you, or help you be prepared enough to move forward. This is not a sales video by any means. I'm not trying to get you to buy into my boot camp or to buy into someone else's boot camp or not buy into someone else's boot camp. I just want you to evaluate coding and whether or not development is a thing for you. So with that, we're going to talk about 3 pieces today, and they are tools that I'm going to use in this series to help us manage our code, to help us write our code, and to help us deploy our code. Those are GitHub, Code Sandbox, and Netlify, and you'll see those words dancing all around me right now. So what I want you to try and understand as we go through the video today is that we're setting up GitHub, which is a place to store our code. We're setting up Code Sandbox, which is a fairly easy place to edit our code. And we're setting up Netlify, which is a fairly easy place to deploy our code. And we're going to see how they all work together. We're going to get familiar with the tools, not perfect with them because we'll keep learning them and understanding them and using them through the process of development. But I just want you to get all set up so that in the next episode of the series, we can just jump in and start actually starting to learn how to code. Starting. I love the word start right now. It's such a good word. Anywho, let's get into this, shall we? All right, so I am just at google.com ready to do a search. And this is what 90% of code development honestly is doing some research, finding an answer, and moving on from there. I would even say I don't have a day in my job where I don't copy, pasta, tweak, meaning I Google it, I search it, I find what I'm looking for, similar, close to what I'm looking for. I copy it, paste it into my code, and then tweak it to get it to work for me. Sometimes there's a lot of tweaking, sometimes there's very little, just depends on the problem. So today, we're going to keep it simple on the Googling, and we're going to just type in the name of the first application that we want to set up, which is GitHub. And if I come here to GitHub, you'll see their parent organization is Microsoft. They recently purchased them, which is awesome. And then I can come here to GitHub, click on this, and this is the view of someone that's logged in. So let me log out real quick so that you can see what it looks like when you're not logged in. This is something similar to what you'll see. I'd recommend just clicking the sign in button. Nope, not the sign in button. That's what I need to do. I would click the sign up button and just start stepping through their sign up process. I already have an account, so I'm going to sign in. Once you have created your account and you're signed in, you'll get to a point where you have a kind of a dashboard look, and I have 2-factor authentication on for me, so I've got one more extra step to do because I got a lot of codes that I got to keep safe. But you'll get a dashboard that looks something similar to this, and it'll say, you don't have anything yet. Don't do anything with this right now. Just know that you're logged in, and we'll move on. So Once you've gotten to that point where you've logged in and you're at your dashboard, which will be much more blank than mine, we'll move on to the next step. So you can pause it here if you need to, or if you were doing it while I was talking about it and you're super quick and ready to go on, let's jump into the next one. So again, I'm gonna open up a new tab. Since I'm using Chrome, it's a Google search for me already, and I'm just gonna type code sandbox. You'll see here that code sandbox is right here, and uh, it is an online editor tailored for web applications. That's awesome. This literally got updated like in the last 24 hours. That's really cool that they adjusted that. So I'm going to click on this. Again, you're going to see my dashboard right away because I'm logged in. I'm going to log out. And if I were to come to their home page right away, now that I'm logged out, there's a sign in button here. I'm going to click this sign in button. Now you notice there's not a sign up button because they want you to sign in with GitHub or with Google. They're not managing authentication, which is kind of cool in my opinion. But this is why we have a GitHub account so that we can use it. And the beauty about this GitHub account is it's going to sync code in GitHub and in Sandbox pretty easily for us. All right. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on here for me because I use it a lot. But for you, you probably just see a little box here that says something like create your first sandbox. It probably has this like new sandbox button here. You can click this one. You can click the blue button up here. I'm going to click this blue button. And then what you're going to do is type in here, and you're just going to type in static, because we are looking for a static one. Now I have a lot. You probably only are going to see one, maybe two. And it's always a guess for me on which one I need to click on because there are several here, and I believe it's this one list. And you're going to see something similar to this. All right. Now, the first thing I want you to do is just forget about all of this right now. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Then after you do that, we're going to save it. Saving, you can come up here to File and find Save here. You'll see there's a hotkey, Control S, which is what I'm going to be using. On Mac, it's probably Command S. So I'm going to be using that hotkey a lot every time I save it, that Control S. So I'm just going to type something up here like I am a site and save it. All right, so there we go. I am a site. So I typed something over here. This is the editor portion. This is where I type code and things show up. Over here, this piece is a little browser in our browser. It's kind of an inception moment, right? So whatever I type over here and save it, it shows up over here. So I'm gonna make just another small tweak. I'm gonna say, hi, I am a site. So I'm a capital H. I think I kind of know how to do English there. So I'll save it, and now it's updated over here. Now this is great. This is cool. I can actually refresh this page and it's already saved. If you left Code Sandbox and came back, so just to help us illustrate that real quick, if you come to this little cube one here, there's a place where you can edit the name, and I want you to do that so it's easy to find. We're going to say my first site. Wow, if you can type, winning for you. If you can't, it's okay. So now we've called it, oh geez, we've called it my first site. All right, so if I just click around here, oh, it for some reason did not save. Oh, there's a save button. Gotta save it. There we go. There you go. My first site. Now, if I go back to the dashboard, in your recently viewed sandbox section, there'll be this my first site. And if you come back, it's right where we left off. Right, so the code is saved here, but that's not good enough for us. We actually want it saved into GitHub, and we'll talk about this in a moment of why. And so we're actually going to set up that link for GitHub. So GitHub actually has their own little icon right here. This is the Octocat. You're going to click it, and there's going to be a sign-in option to link it. You're going to sign in again to create a stronger link. Now, don't click this link button here. This is not the one we want to link, right? We're going to leave that one, but we're going to come down here and create, and we're going to add a new repository. We're going to say my first site, and it probably wants to have hyphens in there and not spaces. So if you find yourself typing some spaces, replace those with hyphens. We won't get into the details, but just know you need to do that, and then you can create that repository on GitHub. And hopefully I don't have one of these already, otherwise it will blow up and break on us. Boom, we're done. Now Now up here, you'll see it says that this is BC Brian, my first site. So it knows that it's pointed at it, and we do want to link it. So now click that link button. All right, now we're gonna make, actually, we're not gonna make a change yet. Hold on to that thought. We're gonna go back over to the GitHub tab. And I'm gonna search in my repositories over here for my first site. If this is your first time using GitHub, you will probably only have one option there, and so you can just click it. So you should have ended up on a page that looks similar to this. You're gonna find this index.html file. We're gonna click on that one. And you can see here, there's some words here. Hi, I am a site. This is what we typed, and we've saved it, and now it's linked to GitHub. So we're editing it here in our code editor, and with a couple of clicks, we can now have it linked. Now I'm going to show you how we make a change and save it to GitHub. So I'm going to say, we'll say cool stuff. Wow. Wow. My hands are not staying on home row right now. Oh my goodness, I missed the L. We're just gonna say cool stuff because we'll get opportunities to write a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna save this. Right now, this little box section here, I can come in here and type in a little summary of what we did. And I'm just gonna say added words. Just gonna keep it simple. And then we're gonna make sure that it says commit directly to the main branches here. Don't worry about what this means so much, but just know that this is the one we want checked. And I'm going to commit the changes. So there's a little animation here telling us that it's happening, and a little pop-up box over here saying it was successful. So now I can come back over here and we can refresh this page, and it's got that change. Cool, huh? Cool stuff. All right. So next thing, we're going to open up a new tab. Again, with the search, this is the last one. We're going to go to Netflix, apparently. Netlify. So Netlify, there it goes. So I'm going to choose that one. I'm going to log in or sign up. Doesn't matter. I am already signed in, so I'm going to sign out so you can see this. But basically, you'll be presented with a page that looks similar to this when you sign up. Just remember, again, use that GitHub to log in. And now we're like all way linked up. So now I'm going to come here to sites. I'm going to come here to new site from Git. You might be presented with something like this if it's your first time logging in. I'm going to choose GitHub. We're going to get more pop-up windows to make sure we have authentication for it. And then last, I'm going to search for my first site here and filter my list. For you, you might only have that one as the only option, so you might not need to filter. Here are some options. We'll eventually someday adjust these options in other applications that we build here. But for today, this is all set up perfectly just how we want. We're just going to click this deploy site. And you can see that it's starting up and it's published. And so there's this silly Minsky link up here at the top. If I were to right click and open this in a new tab, here is our cool site. If I refresh it, it's there, whatever. I can take this link, I can send it as a text to a friend, I can email it to someone, they can click it and they can see the stuff I'm working on, which is pretty cool. So just like that, we've pretty quickly already got a site up and going. We're gonna go through the flow one more time. Before we do that, we're gonna make the URL easier. And then we're done with today. I'll give you a little bit of homework to get you kind of prepared for the next day, the next episode, if you're doing this all in one day or whatever. But let's do one more little tweak here in Netlify. I'm going to come to domain settings. Across from the name, I can come here to options and I can edit the site name. And instead of this, I can say Brian's first site. You could call it a lot of different other things, but that's what I'm going to call mine. And there we go. And now if I go to this URL, Brian's first site, hi, I'm cool stuff. Now this is only bigger because I've zoomed in. So if I were to zoom out. That's what it looks like, but I'm going to zoom in because it's going to be actually helpful for us in a moment. If I come back to this one and I refresh our previous one, it's now dead. All right, doesn't work. So that one's gone. That URL does not work anymore. We have to use that new one that we changed it to. So I'm going to come here and make one more edit. Hi, I am a cool site. Cool stuff. Oops, coming soon. So I'll save that. Now I'm going to make another edit here. Some more words. And then commit directly to that main branch. And I'll come over here to GitHub and refresh it. And it's already got it here. If I come here and go to site overview, it's already published. And if I come over here and refresh this last one, it's already done. Like, honestly, I can't move through all those tabs fast enough to watch it happen because it's so fast. But that's pretty awesome in my opinion. Just boom, 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 and it's out there. So anytime I make a change here, I can commit it to GitHub and Netlify will get that deployed for us. So the homework, if you were to take this line here and we were to copy it and put it in here multiple times and I save it, you'll notice that the editor wraps it around a whole bunch on its own. So it makes it look nice is what it's trying to do. You'll notice though that the browser renders it all as one line, but does text wrap for us as well. So as I move it, it kind of adjusts on its own based on the width. And that's less than ideal. So the homework is, how do you take these guys here, this words, these sentences, and make them show up on multiple lines? What would we have to do that? That's the homework. You're going to want to Google around a little bit, figure it out. You're going to have to use some real HTML stuff to figure it out. That'll be my one clue for you. Is you're going to have to use some HTML to make stuff show up on multiple lines. The last thing I will say is around homework is if you figure that out and you want more of a stretch, figure out how to add an image to it. I won't be going over that anytime soon, but that's a really fun stretch for you. We will go over the answer in the next video, so stay tuned for that. And so we're just gonna go do a quick recap and then we'll end the video. All right, so we went over GitHub, we went over Code Sandbox, we went over Netlify. We deployed something and had it work through all three pieces. Pretty cool, huh? If you could do this and this wasn't too hard, keep going. If this was difficult, maybe code development's not quite right for you right now. Maybe you need to, work up on some other skills, some basic code skill or some basic computer skills. If you still want to push through though, I don't want to stop you from trying to grow and become better. But just know, like, if this was hard, that maybe this isn't right yet. Not that it can't be right someday, but maybe just not quite yet. So have a good day, keep coding, and we'll see you next time.